Jesus is not overwhelmed by our crisis. Now a man named Lazarus was sick. He was from Bethany, the village of Mary and her sister Martha. This Mary, whose brother Lazarus now lay sick, was the same one who poured perfume on the Lord and wiped his feet with her hair. So the sisters sent word to Jesus, "Lord, the one you love is sick." When he heard this, Jesus said, "This sickness will not end in death. No, it is for God's glory, so that God's Son may be glorified through it." Now Jesus loved Martha and her sister and Lazarus. So when he heard that Lazarus was sick, he stayed where he was 2 more days. And then he said to his disciples, "Let us go back to Judea." In this passage, we see dear friends of Jesus in the midst of a crisis. One of their family members is sick, and Scripture doesn't tell us what kind of illness Lazarus has, but it is serious enough for his sisters Mary and Martha to send word to Jesus. Now, I can only imagine the anxiety, the stress, the despair that was welling up within Mary and Martha as they played out all the potential scenarios that would come to pass if their brother didn't overcome his sickness. They needed Jesus, and they needed him now, so they sent word to him. Jesus responds to this word of Lazarus' sickness in an unexpected way. His response actually reveals eternal truths that we find in ourselves in crisis. Whatever we're going through, we will not end in death if we have relationship with Jesus. God will get the glory through any trial or tribulation we find ourselves going through. God is not overwhelmed by our crisis. When we find ourselves in the midst of situations we can't control and outcomes we would never want to face, we have a God who is not overwhelmed. We also have a God who is not beholden to our timelines. We see in this passage that Jesus waited 2 more days before going to be with Mary, Martha, and Lazarus. Jesus didn't respond according to the timeline of Mary and Martha, and he didn't act according to their plans or their agenda. He acted according to his. And this reveals a second truth that is so important for us to understand when we find ourselves in the midst of crisis. God's timing is not our timing. His agenda isn't our agenda. And I guess the question is, where do you find yourself today? Are there any trials or tribulations or crises in your life? Remember that whatever you're going through will not end in death or defeat if you are a follower of Jesus. God will get the glory out of this situation. And remember that your timing is not his timing. And even if you can't trace his hand, you can trace his heart and know that he will be faithful in your current situation. What would it look like for you to trust in his faithfulness, in his timing, in whatever crisis you find yourself in today?
Thank you so much for watching this video. We hope it blessed you. Please like and subscribe to get more content so that you can continue to live and love like Jesus.